State of call.
Hi, Judge.
Good afternoon, Miss Creamy. Ready?
I am, Judge.
All right, first up I have is James Augustine. All right, on Mr. Augustine, on the warrant failure to, or excuse me, the sale, delivery, controlled substance, there's probable cause, bond to be set at $5,000. On the failure to appear, the bond is set at $10,000. The court is going to revoke his bond in case number 18 CF 1912 based on the new offense that occurred while that case was pending. He'll be held no bond in that case. April 5th looks like his next court appearances. Christopher Brio. Hang on a second, Mr. Brio. Your counsel's here, and I'm having a hard time hearing what you're saying. So. Yeah, I'm still. I don't know if he can move closer to the microphone. It's just almost impossible to hear what he has to say.
I was wondering if you would consider a pretrial release since I'm living on such a fine line in a hotel with a dog.
All right. Well, I don't know. Go ahead, Mr. Wilson.
First, Your Honor, I represent him in 20 CT 2124. It's a no valid driver's license. I'm assuming the state's going to seek to revoke its bond in that case.
Right. I
was wondering if the state is willing, if Mr. Beer is willing, to convey an offer, perhaps resolve that case, thereby avoiding a bond revocation issue.
Yeah, I think we're set for Monday. I think on that anyway. So.
Right.
Did you hear that, Ms. Creamy?
Yes, Judge. I do have an offer. It's on the 20 CT 2124 case. It would be a withhold $150 fine plus all.
All right, Mr. Bureau, on the case that's pending, not your new arrest, but the one that is set for Monday, the state has made an offer for you to resolve that case for a withhold of adjudication of guilt, $150 fine, and court costs. Are you willing to accept that, sir? All right, you understand that you're giving up your right to have a hearing in that matter, your right to have witnesses testify on your behalf, your right to cross-examine witnesses, as well as your right to remain silent. You understand you're giving up those rights. You understand if you're not a United States citizen, that this plea could be used against you in a deportation proceeding. All right, then I'll accept your plea in that case, and I'll withhold an adjudication of guilt. There'll be a $150 fine. Court costs will be imposed to include the cost of prosecution. I'm going to give you 90 days to pay that fine, okay? You can work out a payment plan with the clerk of court if you need an additional time.
I'm adding it now, sir.
Well, I'm sorry, as to the other charges, the possession of marijuana and in driving with a suspended license, Mr. Brio, I'm not going to do an ROR based upon your history and your driving record. So on the marijuana, I am going to keep it at the minimum of a $1,000 bond, and on the suspended DL, a $500 bond. So April 1st will be your next court appearance on that new charge, okay? Thank you.
Sorry, I'm not sure why I can't see the left side of the
That's
recap
fine.
window there.
I can see. I'm good.
Okay.
It looks good.
Okay, very good.
Are you able to give me a case number for the case?
Oh, on the plea, yes, sir, I'm sorry. 20 CT 2124.
Thank you.
And we have Christopher Blacktier.
Yes.
Blacktier, this is a violation of county probation. You'll be held no bond on the violation. Your court date is scheduled for March 23rd. Mr. Hidalgo bonded. James Jolly.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jolly, you're here on a charge of driving under the influence, driving with a suspended license, and refusing to submit to a test with a prior suspension. There is probable cause on the DUI. Bond will be set at $5,000, $5,000 on the suspended DL, and $2,000 on the refusal. April 5th will be your next court appearance. There'll also be a condition on as your bond that you have no alcohol, and a sober link would be required within 48 hours of your release, okay? I saw that. I'm not gonna do the pretrial on that. Fourth offense. Alan Marty. Mr. Marty, you're here on a violation of county probation. Based on the warrant, you'll be held no bond. Looks like March 23rd, your next court appearance. Woodgie St. Cyr.
Judge, he's a refusal.
All right, on the violation of state probation, there'll be no bond. April 7th. Michael Sutton. Mr. Sutton, you're here on a warrant based on violation from the state of Colorado, pending Colorado's information as to whether they're going to extradite you. You'll be held no bond.
Judge, I do have a waiver of extradition.
All right, I'm assuming he probably has already signed one prior to him getting here if he's on the interstate compact, but
He's signing it.
okay, that might speed things up. All right, April 5th is his next court appearance on this. Juan Urbanus. Urbanus, you're here, two warrants out of Broward County, one for grand theft. The bond there is set at $1,000 on the petty theft. I'm sorry? I thought I heard somebody say, I thought I heard somebody say something, that's all. And on the petty theft bond is set at $100. Charged with driving with a suspended license here. Your bond will be set at $1,000 in that case, and April 1st will be your next court appearance.
Raul, we have, I have marked down here, we have a plea in 31B. That's a 215? That's a 215. If you can come back to that. Yes, we will. Thank you. Naples Jail, the judge is on the bench, and Stephanie, they need to be sworn.
Yes, very good. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Haley Delamonte.
Thomas Gorman from Los Angeles, on behalf of Haley Delmonte.
All right,
My beg to be heard.
sure. You can come up a little closer if you would, Mr.
Judge, it's a kind of unusual situation in Ms. Delmonte's case. She is currently out on bond in case number 21 CF 177. That arrest and charges are referenced in this report.
Yeah, they're not requesting that. You go through.
That's what I want, that's what I want to address, Judge. I'd ask for reasonable bond.
And I wasn't going to do it either.
Okay, very good.
Because of that, it looks like this arose out of the same
Yeah,
circumstances.
Judge, we'd ask for $1,000 bond. She's not a flight risk. She resides here in Collier County. And she's not.
I was done.
And she's got.
I work.
And she worked.
There we go.
All right, I'll do this. I'll set her bond at $2,500. April 5th will be her next court appearance.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
Candace Gobel. All right, bond will be set at $2,000. No contact with Ms. McCormick, no trespass. 1012 Hampton Circle. That's it. Domestic. Sandra Persalis Babel.
Yes, sir.
I'm in charge with a warrant out of Lee County on a failure to appear.
I don't understand because my court date was 3/16. And I was supposed to sign for 3 months probation and 10 hours of community work.
Well, I'm looking at this,
Cass, Provost Good with Cassie, Fort Myers.
well, I have a misdemeanor bench warrant failure to appear, driving license suspended or revoked, no bond signed by Judge Gagliardi on March 8th of this year.
I wasn't even on bond. They didn't arrest me when they gave me the. So I'm not understanding, sir.
All right, well,
And
hang
all
on.
that-
Let's see what the Lee County clerk has to say. Let's try it again. Well, let's try your case number. That might be easier.
I think it's wrong in the warrant.
I'm sorry?
I think the case number is wrong in the warrant. I think it should be 383.
Oh, you have 393?
Yeah, the warrant says 393 and that comes back for a different defendant.
Well, maybe she's right then. Hold on, let's see what it says.
383.
Well, driving with a suspended DL. Continued. Continuance form was filed on February 16th. And it says new court date, March 8th, Sandra Peralbez Babel, 20 CT 383.
My public defender told me my court date was March 16th to sign for 3 months probation, 10 hours of work time. And that's what I was going to sign for.
Well,
His name is Cassie. Also, I was going to ask if I could have my bond reinstated so that I could go bury my mother. I just was told 2 days ago that she died. And I'm trying to get her buried. I'm her eldest daughter and I have all the paperwork on her. So I'm also asking to have my bond reinstated for the charges I have now.
I'm gonna have to let you take that up with Judge Gagliardi up in Fort Myers. I'm gonna have you held no bond. Hopefully they can get you up there within the next day or two. Thank you. Christopher Girdle,
Yes, Your Honor.
Girdle, you're charged with disorderly intoxication. There is probable cause. Your bond will be set at $500. Your next court appearance is set for April 1st. All right, thank you.
Can I request an RR?
Yes, you can request it.
I would appreciate that.
All right, well, court's going to deny your request. I'm going to leave it at $500, okay?
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Victor Shelley. Good afternoon, Mr. Shelley. Shelley, charged with driving, fleeing and eluding, as well as possession of a controlled substance.
If I may, I wasn't trying to like outrun the cop. I was listening to music and had no idea he was behind me until I looked at the lights. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, well, that's good. That's consistent with what you said in the booking sheet. So just as a reminder, you understand it's illegal to wear those earphones while you're driving.
But what
That's all right. You don't have to say anything more. I just was trying to give you some information. That's all. I'm going to set your bond at $5,000 on each case. I'm going to revoke your bond in case number 20MM839 based upon a new arrest. Your new case court appearance is scheduled for April 5th. I think I don't know when your new, actually it's not a bond. You're out on
You're in diversion.
pre-trial release. Yeah, diversion.
20 MM 839, I'd ask the clerk to revoke.
And I've done that. Okay. Matthew Tracy. All right. On the resisting, it'll be $1,500 and $500 on the open container. April 1st is next court appearance. Douglas Tumbleson. Mr. Tumbleson, you're here on a charge of battery on a person over 65. There is probable cause. Your bond will be set at $2,000. No contact with Mr. Leclerc. Also, I understand being neighbors, but you're not allowed to go back to the property, 3721 White Boulevard. I'm assuming that's Mr. Leclerc's address. A firearms order will be entered. If you own any firearms, you'll have to turn them into the sheriff within 24 hours of your release from custody, or provide the sheriff with a affidavit that you do not own or possess any firearms. And April 5th will be your next court appearance, sir. Thank you. Levi Wheaton. Mr. Wheaton, this is a warrantless arrest for Lee County on a violation of state probation. Based upon the booking sheet, you'll be held no bond pending your return to Lee County. And hopefully maybe they can get you back up there by April 8th. Okay. All righty.
Somebody go back to 31B.
No, oh, I don't know. Is it going to take them a while?
I don't know. Probably not.
Probably should have asked them that before they left.
Won't take me long, just switch back and forth.
All right, we can, if they're ready, yeah, we can get Mr. Gorman out.
Hey, Michelle, are you still in the room?
Yes, we
Or
are.
we're gonna go back to 31B for a plea or something.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back.
Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
And this is in reference to Sharma.
Hey, Raul, are we ready for the plea? Okay. Yes, sir.
Sure, go ahead.
Mr. Shamar, there's a plea form there. I want you to go ahead and sign it, okay? Remember, you're gonna be pleading to one count. The negotiated terms are pay cost of investigation. You'll be placed on 12 months of probation. You may apply for early termination at 6 months. You're not gonna be able to have contact with either one of those victims, okay? And there's gonna be no trespass at the, actually, I don't believe that's on there. Just, no possession or consumption of alcohol. You're gonna have to complete anger management. And then it's gonna be the alternative. Either you do the rehab program or you do individual counseling. But if you do the individual counseling, you're gonna have to have SoberLink device installed within 72 hours of your release, all right? So, any questions about anything?
No, sir.
Okay, so the judge is gonna ask you some questions in a minute. Remember, you're pleading no contest. And I just so you understand that battery is what's called an enhanceable offense, which means if you do this again in the future, you could be, it could be a felony, it'd be much more serious. And they're also gonna say if you're not a United States citizen entering this plea, it's subject to deportation, okay? So, any questions?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're ready to go, Judge.
All right, hang on just a second.
Ms. Creamy,
Hi,
you got all the terms from James, right?
yeah, I'm just checking on one thing.
I'm sure James had intended no trespass there. But we need to have him return to the residence once to get his personal belongings. He's gonna be moving to Clearwater.
Hold on.
Actually, Judge, we may have to do this mail-in because he's moving.
Okay. I don't have, Mr. Stewart says, that's fine, that he can go back to the house one time to get his belongings. He would have to be accompanied by an officer.
That's fine. We'll set that up for tomorrow. And then it's gonna have to be mail-in because he's going up to Clearwater. And that's where we're either gonna get him in the rehab program or he's gonna do individual counseling. But he does not have a place to reside around here.
Well, if he's doing the individual counseling, is that gonna be locally or that's still
No,
gonna be Clearwater?
it'll be up in Clearwater. He'll be living with his uncle.
I guess because it's within the state, that should be fine.
Okay. Jed, we're ready to go.
All right,
I can put the terms again on the record, Judge.
please.
An adjudication of guilt, all costs, cost of investigation in the amount of $332.50. the sheriff's office.
Okay.
12 months of probation may early terminate after 6 months. And I'm sorry, to go back to the mail-in thing. Mr. Gorman, are you okay with probation transferring the camp or to wherever he's living, Pinellas County, I guess?
Yeah, but I don't have a problem with that. It's just, will they take him or not? And I don't want to have that as the impediment. So we can try that. But if they don't take him, he's got to leave tomorrow with his uncle because he doesn't have anywhere to stay here.
Well, I guess if they don't take him, you can file a motion to modify.
Why don't we, can we phrase it in the alternative?
Mr. Stewart's saying no because it's domestic violence. And it should just be transferred.
I might be back for you. We'll try.
You want to try it today, or you want to?
I will try. I'm gonna go downstairs right now and see what can be done, Judge, but we'll see. We'll see, Judge. You're on the bench tomorrow.
I am not.
Oh, you're not. All right. Well, we want to go forward today, Judge, nonetheless.
Okay. All right, I had the no alcohol possession or consumption.
Okay, so 12 months probation may early terminate at 6 months. It'll need to be transferred to, I guess, Pinellas County if that's where he's living. No contact with the victims.
Yeah, I have their names.
Okay, no possession or consumption of alcohol, anger management. And he will either need to be on SoberLink or complete a residential rehab program.
Judge, I'd ask that SoberLink device be installed within 72 hours of release. I've already got it potentially set up for tomorrow, but if that falls through, it may take another day.
All right, so SoberLink within 72 hours or enter into a residential rehabilitation.
That's correct, Judge.
And SoberLink would be for the period that he's on probation.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not like 90-day SoberLink. It's SoberLink as a condition of his probation, or he's got to do the residential.
well, if he enters a residential rehab within 72 hours, he's not going to need SoberLink.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. You're confusing me there.
Not my fault.
Okay, I think I have all the terms. Mr. Sharma, if you raise your right hand, please, sir, and be sworn by the clerk.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I swear.
All right, you may put your hand down. Will you state your name, please?
James Sharma.
And Mr. Sharma, your counsel's indicated you wish to plead no contest to the charge of battery. It's a misdemeanor. It carries a maximum term of 1 year in the county jail. We've gone over the terms of the plea just now. We've had some discussions. Were you able to hear those, sir?
I believe I got the gist of it, yes.
All right, well, here's my understanding of it. You let me know if you understand differently. There'd be an adjudication of guilt. Court costs to include the cost of prosecution as well as the cost of investigation payable to the Collier County Sheriff's Department in the amount of $332.50 will be payable. You'll have the term of your probation in order to pay those costs. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
You'll be placed on probation for a period of 12 months. You can early terminate your probation after 6 months, but you would be required to not possess or consume any alcohol during you're on probation. You would have to do anger management. You would be a no trespass at the 819 100 North Avenue, 102nd Avenue North address here in Naples. You're not to have any contact with either Melissa or Nicholas Dalton. You'd be required to either enter into a private residential rehabilitation program within 72 hours. Otherwise, you'll be required to have SoberLink installed. Do you understand that?
I understand, Your Honor.
And Judge, I guess one more thing, because he needs to go back to the home.
Oh, okay. And you may go, however, other than the no trespass, you may go back to that address one time within 72 hours You'll have to do that with the accompaniment of a deputy sheriff. You understand that, to collect your belongings.
Understand, one question, how do I arrange that?
I'll help.
Mr. Gorman knows how to do that. All right? And we would transfer your probation, hopefully, to Pinellas County. All right? So that's your understanding, sir? All right, you've also, Mr. Gorman mentioned earlier about a plea of guilty or no contest form that you had. Is that correct?
Correct.
You understand that that form contains the rights that you're giving up. Have you had an opportunity to read through there, sir?
I did, yes.
Do you have any questions about the rights that you're giving up by entering this plea?
No.
As indicated, you understand that this plea, if you are convicted of a battery in the future, could be used against you in that case and result in a harsher sentence in that case. Do you understand that?
I understand.
And you understand if you are not a United States citizen, that this plea could be used against you in a deportation proceeding.
I understand.
All right, then I will accept your plea. There is a factual basis in the court file for the plea. There'll be an adjudication of guilt. Court costs will be imposed to include the cost of prosecution as well as the cost of investigation, the amount of $332.50 payable to the Collier County Sheriff's Department. Be placed on probation for a period of 12 months. Conditions, you may early terminate after 6 months. The conditions are no alcohol, either possession or consumption. No contact with Ms. Dalton or Melissa Dalton or Nicholas Dalton. No trespass at the 819 102nd Avenue North address other than within the next 72 hours with the accompaniment of a deputy sheriff in order to collect your belongings. You'll be required, I'm not sure if I said it already, anger management courses you'll be required as a condition of your probation. And you'll have to either enter into a residential rehabilitation center within 72 hours or have SoberLink installed within 72 hours, okay?
Yes.
You will need to be fingerprinted there by the bailiff. In jail, it's 21 MM 305.
Judge, does the judgment reflect the transfer? I don't want county probation to give Mr. Gorman a hard time.
It does indicate may transfer to Pinellas County. Hopefully that.
I'll see you tomorrow on the transfer issue, Judge. But we'll try.
All right. Just, okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Raul, we're going back to NJC
Okay.
1 and then we're going to Oaxaca. All right, thank you.
Perfect.
Very good, Judge.
Yep. I just wanted to check. That's probably the better way to say it.
Welcome back, April Chair.
Okay, we're back to 24s. Joel Gonzalez.
Sir.
Mr. Gonzalez, this is a violation of county probation out of Lee County. You'll be held no bond pending your return to Lee County. I can't give you a date. Hopefully within the next few days, you'll get transferred, okay?
Sir, my paperwork, May Street,
Yeah, go ahead.
I got arrested, when I got arrested for these new charges here in Collier County. I've been incarcerated since December 13th,
Okay,
and I came in with the violation of probation. I wanted to see if this new warrant is going to affect my credit time served, because I'm supposed to get my globalized offer within the next 2 weeks here in Collier.
well, that's something you probably need to talk to your attorney out. I don't see how that's going to affect your credit for time served though.
Okay, because I mean, it's the same charges description out of county, the county warrant.
Yeah, just let them know if more than likely it was done as a warrantless arrest and they just finally got the warrant out. So they should know that in Lee County, and that they will, know that you're here in Collier County. Just keep track of your original booking sheet that shows that warrant was, when you were served. They should give you credit for that though.
Okay, I appreciate it, Your Honor.
They may, that's going to be up to them though. If you were arrested on a separate case, sometimes you may not be able to get that credit. That'll be up to the prosecutor and the judge, all right?
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Ryan Hartwell. All right, Ms. Screamy. If you read the statute on the obstruction, I understand he might have been trying to get her not to testify, but I don't see where he used any force, threats, intimidation, or anything else. He just simply says you don't have to do it. So I'm going to find no PC on that charge. I'm not sure it really makes a difference. On the violation, there is probable cause. His bond will be set at $5,000. No contact with Ms. Knox. A firearms order will be entered, and I am going to revoke his bond in 21 CF 285 and have him held no bond under that. You still there, Ms. Green?
I am just, I'm
Oh.
looking at the tampering. I didn't have it up.
Okay. You notice that it says he has to do all this with the intent. Let me check my email, see if I got a response. Okay.
Okay.
Megan Palmero. Mr. Palmero, I have not received a response from Hillsborough County yet. I did get a response from the state attorney's office here indicating that them and the public defender's office are going to try to contact those individuals up in Hillsborough County to see what they can do. Hopefully, we'll have an answer by tomorrow. So I'm going to have you brought back for 24s until we get an answer one way or the other, okay? All right. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's everybody on the 24th. Please. Do we have? Well, we can do, I guess. Yeah. Gail, do you have any preferences to who goes first or who you have?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then we'll do Ms. Curry. This is Christian Curry, 20 MM 1800.
Judge, my understanding is that this is going to be a plea.
That's what it shows for me.
It's represented by the public defender's office.
Yeah,
Yes, Your Honor, Mark Bouchard here for the public defender's office.
Sure, he's here.
Judge, the terms are on count one, adjudication of guilt, 120 days in jail with credit for time served. For cost of prosecution, no contact with the victim, and no trespass at Allure Nail, 3148 Tamiami Trail East. Count two is an adjudication of guilt, 30 days in jail with credit for time served, deposit costs concurrent to count one. And count three, the breach of peace, adjudication of guilt, 30 days in jail, credit for time served, composite costs concurrent to count one and two. I did speak with the victim and she is in agreement with this offer and is not seeking prosecution.
All right. That's your understanding, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, I've spoken to my client, she's prepared to take the plea. If we could, she also asked if she totaled the amount of money that she would owe.
All right, well,
It'll tell you for me when I answer it.
okay. Do you need to know that prior to entering the plea, Ms. Curry, or you just want to know that at the end?
I didn't understand what you said.
You want me to address you?
Yeah, the question is that you had indicated you want to know how much the court costs were going to be. And once the clerk puts it in the computer, it'll tell me. I can't tell you right now, but I'd like to go ahead and go through the plea. So are you,
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just want to know whether the plea was contingent upon the amount of money or not.
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't think that's,
She meant you'll hear it.
yeah. All right, then, if you would, Ms. Curry, if you'll raise your right hand and be sworn, please, by the clerk.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, will you state your name, please?
Kirsten Curry.
And Ms. Curry, your counsel has indicated that you wish to plead no contest to the charge of battery, as well as criminal mischief and breach of the peace. Were you able to hear the plea agreement that was just announced by the state?
Yes, sir.
And is that your understanding, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
And have you had an opportunity to read a plea of guilty or no contest form?
Yes.
And you understand that that form contains the rights that you're giving up by entering your plea here this afternoon?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about those rights, ma'am?
No, sir.
You understand if you're not a United States citizen, if this plea could be used against you in a deportation proceeding?
Yes, sir.
And if you were to be convicted of battery in the future, you understand that this plea could be used against you in that case and result in a harsher sentence.
No, I did not know.
All right, well, it is what they call an enhanceable offense. A battery is a first-degree misdemeanor. If you have a second battery, you can be charged as a third-degree felony. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, do you still want to go ahead and persist in entering your plea of no contest, knowing that information?
Yes.
All right, then I will find
And
it.
Judge, criminal mischief is enhanceable too.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. Criminal mischief is also is an enhanceable offense, meaning the same thing. If you get convicted of criminal mischief, they can use this plea against you, could result in a harsher sentence. It depends largely also about the amount of damages too. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And Your Honor, I just wanted to make sure she understood the no trespass. Not to go back to that.
Okay, yeah, there's a no trespass at the 3148 Tammany Trail East address, the Allure Nails. You can't go back there, okay?
Okay.
All right, well, if you do, then there's a trespass warning on there. They can arrest you for going back. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand.
All right, and as well as that victim, you can't have any contact with her.
Okay.
All right, it looks like, based upon the plea, Ms. Curry, that the total amount that's going to be due, based on the concurrent court fees as well as the charge here, mainly due to the battery, it'll be $572. Oop, I take that back. I'm wrong. It'll be $722 total. All right, you can work out a payment plan with the clerk of court, and as long as you're paying it, there should be no problem. And if you don't pay it, then they'll just refer it to a collections agency. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, then I'll accept your plea. There is a factual basis in the court file. As to the battery, there will be an adjudication of guilt. Court costs, to include the cost of prosecution, will be imposed, as well as any public defender fees. You'll be sentenced to 120 days jail in the Collier County Jail. You'll be credited with time served. You're not to have any contact with the victim. You're not to trespass at the 3148 Tammany Trail East address. As to count two, there'll be an adjudication of guilt, 40 days jail with credit for time served, composite court costs. That'll run concurrent with count one. And as to count three, an adjudication of guilt, court costs, composite court costs, 30 days jail with credit for time served, and it will also run concurrent with counts 1 and 2. You will need to be fingerprinted there by the jail deputy, okay?
Okay.
All righty. Thank you, ma'am.
So, Your Honor, what's gonna happen?
They'll take your fingerprints and they should, I'm assuming if these are the only charges holding you here, they'll process you out of the jail today. I'm assuming you've got enough 120 days in.
She has 126.
Okay, so you should be done then. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
all righty, thank you.
And, do I just pay the money to the court, like send it in?
Yeah, just to make sure that you if you have any information, put your case number on it so they know who to credit it to, okay?
Okay.
All right. That should do it. If you have any questions like that, you can just ask the clerk. They should be able to help you. Then we have Scott Williams.
Morning, Your Honor. Or afternoon, sorry.
Good afternoon. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I looked at it already. I told myself in my own mind that it was okay. Yep, looks, wait a minute. I thought I had 40 days for count two.
I understood it's 30 days.
30.
Well, I'm sorry, how many?
30 on count 2, 30 on count 3.
Oh, all right. How did I write 40 down? Okay, 30 days. Then. Continue. All right, that looks good.
The count one was just the no trespass, no contact, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Good. All right, Mr. Williams. Looks like a violation, injunction, protection of domestic violence.
Yes, sir. I've discussed the plea with them, and it's agreeable. He would like to accept the plea.
Okay. And the terms?
Adjudication of guilt, all costs, cost of investigation to the sheriff's office in the amount of $206, time served, and no contact with the
All right, no contact with the victim, is that correct?
and she's in agreement with the plea offer.
All right. All right, Mr. Williams, if you'll raise your right hand and be sworn by the clerk, please.
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, will you state your name, please?
Scott
What's your last name?
Williams.
And Mr.
Scott Williams.
And Mr. Williams, your counsel has indicated that you wish to plead no contest to the charge of violating an injunction for protection against domestic violence. Again, the terms called for an adjudication, court costs, time served. Court costs would include a cost of investigation of $206 payable to Collier County Sheriff's Office, any public defender fees, as well as the cost of prosecution, as well as a no contact with the victim. Is that your understanding of the plea?
Yes, sir.
Have you had an opportunity to review a plea of guilty or no contest form?
Yes, I have.
You understand that that contains the rights that you're giving up by entering your plea here this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
You have any questions about those rights?
No, about the rights, no.
Okay. You understand if you're not a United States citizen, that this plea could be used against you in a deportation proceeding. And I will accept your plea. There is a factual basis in the court file. There'll be an adjudication of guilt. Court costs will be imposed to include the cost of prosecution, public defender fees, and the cost of investigation, the amount of $206 payable to the Collier County Sheriff's Department. You'll be credited with time served, and you're not to go back, you're not to have any contact with the victim in this case. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, and you will need also to be fingerprinted by the bailiff then.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Time served, no contact.
All right, Maple Jail, we're going out to the
Whether
box.
that be the case.
Okay.
This should be interesting. This one says he has mom. Is that different than man? I've never heard of that. Maybe.
I do.
I thought you forgot it. This will get him released though, right?
Your Honor?
This should get him released, is that correct? This plea?
I hope so.
Oh,
He's Ms. Woodley's client.
Oh.
So I don't know the details, but I'm assuming it does because it's.
Yeah, because I understand
Time served.
they're kind of locked down over there. I didn't know, maybe that's why we're not seeing anybody.
Well, thank you. It'll be a couple minutes.
Does he need to?
Yes. It says here, mom, but.
Oh.
Eduardo was able to. So he understands. I don't know where they got this from. In the notes, it says Eduardo.
That Mr. Perez Aguilar?
No,
Sounds almost more Puerto Rican than Cuban. Wilmer.
All right, Judge, are we feeling lucky?
Sure. Sound like a couple minutes to me.
No, hang on. Hi, Michael, you need to turn your camera on.
I'm trying.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Don't get pushy.
I didn't have training at this, so, hold on.
Let's say Spanish man.
There you go, beautiful. Ta-da.
Who do you need first, sir?
Oh, I only have one.
Okay.
I have, yeah, Wilmer. Yeah, I don't know who the other guy is you got behind him though.
As long as we got one or two, we're good. What do you think, sir? All right, I think someone else will probably handle you. All right.
Oh, yeah, maybe someone will get you.
Now we're good.
Will you state your name, please, sir?
Señor, diga su nombre.
Wilder Pérez Aguilar.
Wilder Pérez Aguilar.
Okay, all right.
So your Honor, it's going to be a withholding of adjudication on count one, time served, court cost prosecution, public defender fee. And on count two, the no valid driver's license will withhold adjudication, time served, court cost prosecution, public defender fee.
That's correct, Judge.
All right, Mr. Perez Aguilar, will you raise your right hand and be sworn, please?
Señor, levanta la mano derecha para ser juramentado.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Solemnemente jura o afirma que el testimonio que va a dar será la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad. Conteste. Yes.
All right, you may put your hand down.
Baje la mano.
Your counsel has indicated that you wish to plead no contest to the charge of leaving the scene and not having a valid driver's license.
Su abogado ha informado que usted desea declararse. No me opongo.
The agreement is that you would be sentenced to time served and court costs would be imposed. Is that your understanding?
Usted está acusado de haberse ido del lugar de los hechos y de no haber tenido licencia. Le han ofrecido tiempo cumplido. Su culpabilidad no va a constar y costas procesales. ¿Eso es lo que usted entiende que le ofrecieron?
Sí.
Yes.
You understand you're giving up your rights to have a trial,
Comprende que usted renuncia a su derecho de ir a juicio,
to have witnesses testify on your behalf,
traer testigos que testifiquen a su favor,
to question witnesses,
interrogar a sus acusadores
and to require the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
y obligar al Estado a probar los cargos en su contra, más allá de cualquier duda razonable.
You understand you're giving up those rights.
Comprende que usted renuncia a esos derechos. Comprende. Yes.
And you understand if you're not a United States citizen, this plea could be used against you in a deportation proceeding.
Comprende que si no es ciudadano estadounidense, esta declaratoria va a ser usada en su contra en una audiencia de deportación. ¿Comprende eso?
Sí.
Yes.
Then I'll accept your plea as to the withhold or the leaving the scene. There'll be a withholding of adjudication of guilt.
Acepto su declaratoria y
You'll
por
be
haberse
sentenced
ido
to
del
time
lugar de los
served.
hechos, su culpabilidad no va a constar.
Court costs will be imposed
Costas procesales van a ser impuestas,
to include the public defender fee and the cost of prosecution.
costos de fiscal y de defensor de oficio.
And in the no valid driver's license will be an adjudication of guilt.
Por no haber tenido licencia, su culpabilidad va a constar.
I had an adjudication
It's a withhold.
Withhold on both.
on both.
Yeah.
Su
Oh.
culpabilidad no va a constar. Disculpe.
I'm sorry, I was doodling. I had withhold, but and I crossed it out for some reason. Time served and
Tiempo
court
cumplido
costs.
y costas procesales.
All right. Thank you, senor.
Gracias.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you.
Thank you, Markley.
What's his name? All right. Yeah, I was looking to see if I had him somewhere else, but there's a good stuff.
Okay, very good.
All right, now, I don't know. All I have is, don't know why he's there.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it looks like Benjamin, it's not the only two people that are left from docket today. He's not one of them. No, I'm just looking at Judge Foster has mental health court and there's a Joshua Benz and a Benjamin Forget. So I don't know who they're holding him for,
They're not, with this new administration, they're not.
unless it's just for some other things. All right. Well, all right, thank you, Ms. Freemy.
Thanks, Judge. Take care.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry again, Judge.
Oh, that's all right. We were like, say, we weren't, I wasn't ready to go anyway.